Okay, James. Well, let's just quickly switch over the camera and say hello to James Andrew Finlayson, who's joining me to commentate on this round. As you went 2-0, or no, you went 0-2 and dropped, right?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
And so that's where we're moving on. And because you're hanging around doing nothing, I figure it gives me someone to chat to, right?
Yeah, get involved in it.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so moving on, we've got on the right side of the table, we've got Cédric Grisoni. What's happened there? Why is it all messed up? God knows. All right, it's gone already. Hang on a sec. Let me reload this page because this is not working. Hang on. Let's switch back to us, and then switch back to him. And I won't touch it, but like it's good. For some reason, it's coming up with his name like spread across. I guess it's because the name of his town's really long or something. That's kind of messed it up. Anyway, so he's got 3 red squadrons. It's all messed up. God knows what's happened there. With heroic and S foils, and he's got Jessica Pava with BB Astromech, right? Yep. It's just a BB. The black 1 title on the S foils, right? And moving over to the other side of the table with Pierre Anthony Corrado from Vidiad. He's got the Omicron Group's pilot with Emperor Palpatine. He's got Sunto Fel with Predator, and he's got Darth Vader with Fire Control System and Aftermath. A pretty archetypal list, yeah. We've already seen more or less this thing several times.
There's a massive healthy bid on it. There must be.
I couldn't tell you now. I've cleaned off the list, but yeah, it must be pretty healthy. Let's have a look. If we put it into the builder, how it ends up. Let's go. Okay, so we need to close that down, and we need to get a new squad for the Imperials. And it shouldn't take long to build it because there's not many upgrades. So going down to the TIE Advanced, we've got Darth Vader, and he's got Fire Control System, right? That's what it was?
Yeah, should be.
Let's switch over to the main camera where we can see it. Fire Control System, and Afterburners, of course. That one.
At this stage of the game, it might as well come printed on the card.
Let me just move that there. Right. And Sunto Fel a little bit further down for the TIE Interceptor. Well, let's go with the Omicron Group pilot, seeing as how he's got first. Emperor Palpatine on there. Right. And last one will be Sunto Fel. There he is. And he's got Predator. There he is. So 184 points.
Wow,
yeah.
16 points.
Well, we had a 16-point list in the last game as well. A 16-point bid in the last game as well. So yeah, I don't know. It's we know that Pierre. I've known Pierre for quite some time now. I know he's very much a Power Basis player. So exactly up to what point he was willing to abandon this kind of format at this stage of the game, or whether or not, I mean, he knows what he's doing is basically what I'm trying to say.
100%, yeah.
Let me get this Omicron Group pilot thing so it appears on one line, and then we'll get going. Okay, Omicron Group pilot, done. Right, and over on there. Oh, and I want to change these S files to say S files because otherwise it takes up too much space. So he's got the four T70s in the list. The thing is he's not got enough models, and so he's using T65s as proxies. So we've got one of the Partisan Renegades to represent the highest one listed on the screen. Then you've got one of the base T70s, the normal T70s with the blue trim, the blue paint, is the second one on the screen. Then he's got a red T65, is the third Red Squadron expert, and then Jessica Pava is playing with the Poe Dameron X-Wing. You came over last night, huh?
Just about made it.
Yeah. Did you manage to enjoy your steak dinner already, or?
No, that's tonight.
That's tonight. Do you guys go for the stone one?
Yeah. Which has a real.
I'm not that much of a fan of that.
Oh, that's fair.
More than anything, I'm not that good of a cook when it comes to steak, and I'm not a fan of eating like like, what's the word for it when it's not done? Yeah.
Like when you get the rarer meat, it's understandable.
Yeah, because it's such a big block as well. It was huge when it came out.
Yeah. See, I'm a bit of a connoisseur when it comes to that kind of thing.
Okay, so they go back to dials. Okay, and it's going to be an interesting matchup now to see the 4 Resistance X-Wings taking on the Power Bases with such a huge bid. What they've got Heroic to be able to help them out when they blank out. Rose Tycho, let me remind everybody what her ability is, just in case. Do you remember it off the top of your head? Or?
I mean, Jess Pava.
Yeah, that's
the
right.
one. She has a charge. When attacking or defending, she can spend that charge, and she can re-roll any amount of dice depending on how many friendly ships are at range 1 of her.
Right, and she can use the one that's on her BB-8 Astromech as well, the charges, right?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, she's got. It says while you defend or perform an attack, while you may spend 1 charge or 1 non-recurring charge from your equipped upgrade, Astromech upgrade, to re-roll up to 1 of your dice for each other friendly ship at range 0 to 1. And the BB8, the BB Astromech, sorry. Before you execute a blue maneuver, you spend 1 charge to perform a barrel roll action. And you've only got 2 of those charges, but I guess that's really where where it comes in is the fact that it's giving her extra charges for that ability.
100%.
Yeah.
It's for those turns when you need to do it on attack and defense.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, that's fine.
Very, very tight formation on the T-70s.
Yeah.
No, I've seen a lot of lists today, a lot of Imperial lists, following the Imp player's sort of design here. Sort of Suntifel, just good as he comes. Vader, minimal upgrades, good as he comes.
Mm-hmm.
You can put upgrades on them, make them expensive, but they're good enough without them. You just don't need them.
Yeah. And basically, yeah, it's when you... I discussed this once with Phil GC, like exactly what was the psychology behind a bid, and it's more a question of, if you're taking a bid, there's 1 or 2 things happening. It's either there's no point in anything else, you've got no use for anything else, or you don't want to put a ship in there that's likely to lose you points the second it takes half points, right? Which was kind of like when we had in first edition, we had the double phantom list where it was 87 points, and it was like, well, why not put another Academy TIE fighter in there? So like, because that Academy TIE fighter gets killed and suddenly you're 12 points behind.
Yeah.
As long as those 2 phantoms are on the board, you've not lost any points.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was part of the whole strategy there. If you put what would be the word for it? A liability ship on the board, right? That if that ship takes half points, then that's it. You're suddenly on the losing edge, and you've got to press the engagement more. So it's kind of like you're either taking. So if you're taking the bid, you're either doing it because nothing else fits. Or if you do fit anything else, it's going to end up being a liability in this case.
Another way to look at it as well is the change from first to second. There are very few things in second edition that give you a 100% guarantee. So we've looked before when we had like guidance chips that guarantee you a hit, and we've had expertise to guarantee you the focus. None of those upgrades exist in the game anymore. So when you look at a 16-point bid, that's guaranteeing your ships to move last.
Yeah.
And if people are thinking 16 points, I could have Stealth Device, Lone Wolf, all these upgrades on Suntifel, or putting a Procket on Vader, but guaranteeing something in X-Wing is huge.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge.
I mean, especially when we've seen how second edition has moved more towards dice variance as a depending factor in the game. As you're saying, is like being able to guarantee something kind of twist the balance away from that once again. Is that like we as you say, we removed those kind of like surefire upgrades that made things more predictable, and then that meant that dice variance crept in as more of a deciding factor in the game. So now you need to try and guarantee other factors to try and help remove the weight from the dice variance.
I mean, the best way to not roll bad green dice is to not roll green dice, right?
Yeah, true. We had in a game earlier. We had Jeremy Moulier playing against Tom Tatasol, right?
Yes.
And Jeremy realised at the end of the game he'd forgot to use Whisper's ability the whole way through the game.
Oh wow!
Right? But do you know how much damage Whisper took?
I'm guessing 0.
Nothing. So it's like you don't use it if you don't need it, right?
That's a good player picking up ships just because they're good, right? that's. I wouldn't be surprised if he hadn't been flying that list for too long.
Who was it? He was playing Whisper and Rear Admiral Chirano.
So he'd have picked that up since the points changed. The changes to the Decimated has given new life to them.
Yeah. And it's a very stable list from what we could see, right? And he hardly ever got involved in real combat. He just kind of like picked apart Tom's list bit by bit. Tom was playing the Jedis, and there was not really much he could do about it.
It's nice looking at the tables now and seeing, again, every time there's a points balance, there's just new life breathe back into the game.
It breathes new life back into the game, yeah?
You're just seeing things that you haven't seen for a couple of months. It's like, oh wow, people are flying that again.
Yeah.
But I thought...
And this is like...
buried. I thought they were dead and buried, but again... I love being wrong when it comes to these things.
Well, Decimators.
Yeah, I thought they were dead. I thought they were gone.
You know, it was kind of like when the points balance happened, and it was kind of like you knew that like Wave 4 was going to land, and that the Decimator was going to be in it, and you could kind of see like, I don't know, like when you look at there were certain ships that they changed every ship in that every pilot within that ship, and then some of them going down. Things like the Defender went down, the Aggressor went down. Right. The Aggressor went down, the Defender went down, and it's kind of like I get the impression that maybe, and the Decimator going down just before it gets released, you get the impression that maybe this is like a little hint of what's going to be revealed at Gen Con next week.
Ooh,
as our Wave 5 releases, TIE Aggressor or Defender maybe. I think the Defender is like a critical piece of the Imperial arsenal.
Oh yes.
And that's something they want to get out soon. It's been something that's been that was a huge force in the in first edition, maybe too much so, but is something that's like a very desired piece. A lot of people like playing it and like the ship.
I've seen a lot of people just fly 2 Defenders just on their own. The moment the points change happened again, the upgrades changed a little bit as well.
Yeah.
But again, straight back onto the tables. I mean, it was just a couple of the archetype lists were just pushing the sort of fringe ships out of the meta, and all of a sudden, exactly what you're saying. A bit of a points change, a bit of a nod towards the future, and all of a sudden they're back on the tables.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I forgot I hadn't started up the timer here. Yeah, okay, that's running. Yeah, so I mean. Yeah, there's kind of hints, and like obviously the points changes are, whether you like it or not, they are going to be slightly influenced by the release schedule as well.
100%.
Yeah, so it's a question of really now waiting to see. But fire sprays went down as well. Yeah, across the board. What else was it? The Hawk. Yeah. I reckon we might be seeing a Hawk. Yeah,
that would be
coming
nice.
out in Wave 5 with like a kind of special pack that's got like the Scum upgrades and the Rebel upgrades in it.
Yeah. It'd be nice for Scum players to not have to buy the
Rebel
for Moldy Crow.
Yeah.
As a couple of my friends have had to sort of bite the bullet just to get that one card.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Again, I do like it when they're slowly adding these ships into the hyperspace, because with the Decimator you suddenly introduce BT and 000 in, and it's just like slowly but surely reintroducing the cards that you've been playing since day one, but into the hyperspace format, which is again, I just keep liking it when more stuff keeps coming into it.
Yeah. I mean, hyperspace has a lot of disdain, but I was discussing it earlier with Rick as well, that like it's something that as the card pool expands and extended, it gets to the point where no amount of points changes is going to be able to close off all of the options available when you've got extended and every single card is available. And so whilst right now hyperspace is maybe frowned upon as a game format, in a couple of years maybe we'll be looking at it differently, that like suddenly it's the more balanced format. Maybe it's not as limited as it is now, where there's very few ships, but because more waves will have come along, and then it'd be a bit more flexible.
I think because we had 6 months of 2 point layer, I think that was the big point of for hyperspace for me. It was when you had arguably the best ship, the best build in extended Rebel Beef, and then having that exact same setup being in hyperspace as well. Kind of just looked at it and meant that the entire format was quite limited in its own right.
Yeah.
Now that they're fixed later, I'm a lot more warm to hyperspace.
At 6 points. At 6 points, right? This race is gone. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe 4, maybe 5 points. I kind of feel. I mean, they're upgrades that you want to see people use at the same time. And in first edition, it was overcosted. At the beginning of second edition, it was overcosted. You know, it was, and these cards weren't used. And you know, they should be the popular cards. You know, the movie cards as they are, right? There should be reason to take them. It shouldn't be to the point they're broken, right? But there should be a reason for it. And so it's kind of like with Jack Mooney's list with Han Solo and Luke Skywalker Gunner. You know, it's kind of like, you know, that's the sort of thing that sells X-Wing. You know, when people can 100%. Walk past the table and say, look, they're playing Han Solo and they've got Luke Skywalker on there and stuff like that.
I'm all for thematic power levels, but again, it's a happy medium.
Yeah.
Very for all of first edition, they kind of put that to the wayside, and obviously the hobby grew massively. Yeah. The hobby's changed now, and I can respect that. Luke is now one of the best pilots in the game in the T65, but
and yet he's too heavily costed.
He is.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see things like sort of Leia having to be overpowered.
The prevalence of Leia, was what's the word for it? Unbalanced, basically. The prevalence. There was just so much. You could guarantee that Rebels were taking Leia, and that just kind of points out that how 2 points was just way too low a margin for her. The fact that it's 6 points means it's not as bad as it was when it was 8 points, but at the same time, it's it kind of, I worry that maybe we've priced her into oblivion again.
It's when I've seen FFG in the past, when they've done their balance changes, they are very heavy-handed, because every single piece of the Rebel Beef was made more expensive, every single piece. So I don't think the B-Wings on their own were a problem. They're strong. True. But they weren't a problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, and this is part of the reason why for me, when they announced they were going to do changes every 6 months, I was like, well, you've kind of messed it up now, because it would have been better to have smaller incremental changes over time and just kind of like fine tune it rather than having to make these sweeping changes every period.
You see, this was I was lucky enough to go to Coruscant, and I managed to get hold of Alex Davey.
Oh,
and
by the neck.
Almost. It was just as they'd announced Rey. And I was like, the problem being with certain ships, certain upgrades, is they're going to exist in a situation where they're either far too good or just terrible. Yeah. And it's like, I think Rey exists in the terrible situation. And what he said that with the points now being an interactive thing, or being big on the app, you can obviously do changes whenever you want. So obviously they want the big changes to be every 6 months, but they can do small changes every now and then. Obviously, we saw that with the Upsilons.
Yes. But then you tell them to use the little die peg next to where the bases are, there are a whole bunch of little donuts. Right? Okay, so it would appear that Cédric has enough T70s to make his list, but he was using T65s because of the different paint schemes.
Okay.
So now, but obviously that's not permitted as far as the proxy rules. Right, so normally this wouldn't be allowed. In this event, there is a proxy policy. They're allowing proxies because certain ships have not been released in second edition in France. There's been a delay to the Arc, for example, and I think the Resistance A-Wing.
Yeah, one as well. Yeah.
Yeah. and so people are allowed to bring like Rebel A-wings or arcs and kind of proxy that material to make it as a level playing field. And so now they've told him he has to change the T65s for T70s. And how they're going to do it, I don't know. Okay.
Probably in the planning phase they'll change those over.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So I know he's got on his ID tokens he's got 1, 2, 3 for the Reg Squadron Expert. As it goes down on the screen is also 1, 2, 3. The black one, the blue one, the red one, and 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be too hard to follow it, assuming they don't go too far up the other end of the board and end up spending half the time perpendicular to the camera, so I can't see those ID tokens. Right, so target locks with Vader onto the lead, the red X-wing.
That T70 is in for some punishing.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because, like, for example, in the last round, we had, I'm blanking on his name. So wait, we've got here 1 hit and 1 evade, so nothing happens there.
Yelta or the other fella?
The other fella.
Ah.
I'm blanking right now. Hang on a sec. 2 hits and a focus. Spends the force.
Makes it a crit.
Yeah. And 1 evade, 1 focus, and a blank. Means he's going to take 1 and a crit unless he spends that focus. Yeah, so just 1 damage onto the red X-wing. So yeah, Antonio played against Shelter in the last round, and he had a modified YT 1300 model, right?
Yeah.
It was like customized. So like, really, what's the real difference between having proxy ships and like modifying them? You know, to what point is it acceptable? Like, for example, these T65s are pretty much identical to the T70.
It's just the engines on the back, but again, I mean, in fairness, if you hadn't said anything, I wouldn't have noticed the difference.
So yeah, 3 and a blank, and he's got 1 evade and 2 blanks. So damage going on to fell 2 cards. Yeah, like I say, I mean, you know, if in the last round you can modify your ships to quite an extensive effect in most cases. In this case, they're pretty much the same ship, but it's just a model. Who knows? I mean, obviously, the letter of the rules is that you're not allowed to proxy ships.
You see, it's I think exact wording as long as that you're allowed to modify your ships.
Yeah.
As long as they're
still recognisable.
Still recognisable, but they don't cause confusion. Confusion's the big word in there.
Yeah, I guess that's true. So you'd kind of be looking at this, you wouldn't be sure if you're watching T70s or T65s.
Well, in first edition, I agree with you, but obviously in second edition now, you can't have T70s and T65s on the same side.
Yeah, true. But then, true. But then, as you look at the table going past, you'd be like, which one is it, Rebels or Resistance?
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Judges have got to thank this task, don't they?
Yeah. Especially now they've got all their floor rules.
I love floor rules. They're the best thing ever.
I'm not going to comment.
But they've been using them to effect.
Yeah, they have. No, I've seen they've got a list of the people that have received warnings.
Yeah, there's people late to tables, which is the good one, because obviously, intentional or not, it's kind of like if you get told to hurry up,
You get told what.
You're going to be there on time
Especially if it was round 4, because they've told you what time the round was going to start, and so and you had lunch, and so you had all the time in the world. And yet if you're turning up late, then really that's all on you, right? Situations where it's like in between rounds, you know, I mean, there's not really much option of being late to a table. No. The only problem then would be like how long it takes you to set up.
That was it. I mean, the couple of the guys turned up smack on the 10-minute deadline with seconds to spare, and they just avoided the round loss. Yeah.
I think they actually made them run on a separate clock, right?
Yeah.
They actually made them play the full round.
Otherwise, it'd be too much of a disadvantage for your opponent.
I would say 10 minutes. That's a pretty fair deadline as well. Yeah? I mean, I can imagine 5 minutes. If it was me, I would have said 5 minutes.
Well, you've got from when the pairings are announced, you've got 1 to 10 minutes to be at the table, and within that 1 to 10 minutes, it's the judges or marshal's discretion to whether or not you even get a warning within that.
This is where he's changing the ships over now.
Excellent.
And he's put a white disc on the one that was number 1. So let me fix this. It's not longer black, it's now white. Whoops. And we've still got a T65. He's going to change that one now. He's using a yellow one. Okay. And that's going to be number 3. Easy peasy. Then that means now I don't know which one is Jess. You got to remember that Jess is the other one, is the one that's not got the yellow.
Yeah, Jess is Poe.
The yellow thing on it. Right. But. Okay. All right. Whole bunch of. Yeah. So this is where it gets more confusing, right?
Are we changing Jess? We're changing Jess as well.
I guess he's just going to put the color thing on it to help tell the difference. Yeah, so there's orange, and let's see if he does the other one as well to make it even easier. Yeah, okay, well,
very good.
Thank you very much, Cédric. A gentleman.
See, going back to your original point, they let you use any of the Falcon models to represent any of the Falcons.
Yeah.
And there are real significant differences.
True.
On the dials, on the action bars, even on the attack dice, if you consider the customized.
Yeah.
What customized? Modified.
The Rebel one is the modified.
The Scum one gets two attack dice.
The Scum one is customized.
Customized.
Yeah.
YT 1300. Whereas obviously, all the T65s, I mean, there's a shield difference, I guess.
So the Scum one is customized, the Rebel one is modified, and the what is it? The Resistance one is salvaged.
Salvaged, that's the one I was missing.
So Sunti, one hit point.
I would be surprised if he ever shoots at him again.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of depends on where the rebels go, where the resistance goes as well. Sunta could maybe even like kind of turn around and boost back and try and get around behind them.
I mean, Suits is definitely doing a hard 2.
Yeah. That's Jessica Pava.
Yes. See, in that situation, I wasn't sure whether or not they were going to all go one forward and try and scare Vader, or they decided to remove the shuttle.
Did the shuttle suffer any damage? No damage so far. All right.
There's a lot of dice coming its way. If these back to 1 bank as well.
Yeah. That's how you set up a kill box. Well, no, that's not true. That's how you focus fire your arcs. Kill box is more when you've got like pincered, yeah, and that person just kind of falls into that perfect area where you got them shot from both sides.
I guess by moving this way, it allows him next turn the
K turn.
The K turn. There's the rebel
or
move,
talon rolls or whatever, yeah, and be able to get back around.
Talon rolls there, depending on how much they butcher this shuttle.
Yeah.
13, 14 dice going into it. I think the shuttle should be dead. 9 health.
Yeah. Okay, so Jessica Paba ability. Is what I think's happened there.
I think just reminding him. See, it was yellow that got shot at the first turn, yes?
Yeah.
And it lost how many shields?
1.
Just the 1?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he would be really wanting to be able to PS kill that yellow one this turn.
True. But I don't know, getting 7 damage through? Not 7, 6 damage through. I see it being a tall order. Even with Vader
getting 3 hits in a crit with Vader isn't difficult.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess. And yeah, Suntir 2 turns to the right.
Oh, it did the predictable move.
Yeah, and maybe even barrel rolls right and backwards.
100%.
Yeah.
Get a free focus. Don't stress yourself out.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of.
And he's got range 1 on that yellow one as well. So this is 3 range 1 shots onto that yellow red squadron expert. This is gonna. There is. All right. So there's every possibility now. Taking 12 dice that those 6 damage get through. 12. What is it from the shuttle? Is 3 front?
3 at the front. Yeah.
Yeah. So range 1 before.
The thing is, it's gonna take 8 before. I think the red shoots before the shuttle. Yeah.
Yeah. True. Okay. So gets 4, and 1's a crit from the fire control system. Rolls evades, gets blank and focus. That's not a good position to spend a focus, is it, for just saving 1 damage? I don't know. It's going to leave him down and hold 2 hit points if he lets all it through. If that last crit is a direct hit, it puts him in even more shakier ground against Suntir.
The worst feeling in the world is
no, he takes the damage. 1. That's a wounded pilot.
Oh, perfect.
Yes, a wounded pilot after you perform an action, roll 1 attack die on a hit or crit, gain 1 stress token.
Can Sensei get his revenge?
They're asking for a judge to check arc. Axel comes over.
I'm never a fan of lasers. I have one myself for like the easier art calls.
The quick ones, yeah.
When it's tight, I just
and I think he says no. Yeah, I think he says no. The problem is it's holding it still. Isn't it, the laser, because it wobbles so much. And getting a good quality one that's got like a fine focus on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like Suntir does get the attack. Gets 2 crits, 1 evade and a focus. Oh, this is him firing on the white one. Just takes 1 shield.
Thing as well, the lasers don't give a true straight line either.
Explain for the people at home more than anything.
So because the way the laser, the way the light comes through and it hits the lens.
Yeah.
If you imagine rather than it being 1 long line, it's 2 lines connected in the middle. So in theory, it's like putting your 2 fingers together and then saying it's a straight line.
Right.
So it isn't 100% a straight line.
I would say the only thing I would say to that is that it depends on the quality of laser you're buying. That laser there is a poor quality laser, I agree.
100%, yeah.
Right. But I've got one that's it's not just one divider. It's like six dividers, and it was German engineered. This is like one of the first lasers, right? Nice. And it cost me like €30, and I was like, yeah.
I've seen people bring Black and Decker laser
but those are all right because at least then you can set them on the table, right? And they project it. It's got limitations, or like when something gets in the way of it, when it's like you've got like a situation like this where there's so many ships around the same area. But it does depend a lot on the quality of the laser, and those little laser pointer army painter ones are definitely not my first choice. No.
So, I mean, I carry around like 3 1-forwards with me, purely just so I can get all the ships out of the way. I'm not leaving it down to chance.
Yeah, so 1 blank, a hit and a crit, and looks like he evades 1, a focus and a blank. Takes it uses the force to change the focus. Right, 1 focus, 2 hits, and spends some focus, gets 4 focus, like maybe 2 focus, takes a whole ton of damage again on the yellow one. The yellow one's gone. So the Palper shuttle managed to get out of that one pretty much well. Yeah. He only lost half points. It could have gone a lot worse for him, as you were saying before.
It is very. I guess the decision to fire blue into Vader was a bit. He's in the game. He's currently 4-0. I'd have thought that's slightly questionable. If you've shot everything else at the shuttle, I'd have thought you'd continue to pound into that.
Yeah. Try and rely on cadence of fire.
When you've got the PS, or at least the initiative against another ship, you're just fishing for those crits. A weapons failure there completely changes that roll, right?
Right. Regenerates the force tokens.
All of a sudden, that pouch shuttle is so inconsiderably in the way
of the X-wings. Yeah. One 0 stop, or maybe even a 1 straight to bump onto the orange X-wing.
Yeah.
And just kind of mess up all their maneuver options.
I mean, you can also try and fit in that sort of the space where you've killed that T-70. And then use the coordinate, possibly onto Sunter to give him an action.
Mm-hmm.
Completely free up his actions for manoeuvring rather than having to focus.
Yeah. So we'll take one moment here while we're still in the planning phase to remind everyone that's watching us that this stream is brought to you thanks to the support we receive through Patreon. So please do consider going over to Patreon. There's a link in the chat now to patreon.com/FirstEarth and contribute there. Everything that is received is greatly appreciated and goes straight back into paying for transport and accommodation to go to these tournaments and bring you this kind of coverage of the events. And of course there's the Twitch Prime option as well. If you have the Twitch Prime, then smash that Prime button and that always comes through as well. And like I say, every single penny that was received goes straight into either transport or accommodation or equipment and other things to improve the quality of the stream. Oof. Okay, so decides to kind of maybe thinking if they were going to turn to the right, maybe, but I don't see it. I think they were going to go for the K-turn. Maybe he's blocked the turquoise one, right?
Yep.
But apart from that, I don't know.
There's also maybe a double bluff because he may have forced.
And he coordinated
white.
The focus to Vader.
Yeah, he may have forced white into not doing a K-turn because obviously the threat of the stop was there.
Yeah, of course. So orange fits. Why did I say Fitz? I don't know.
Orange is Jess, yeah?
Yeah, Jessica Powder. One straight, huh?
Does that fit?
Yeah, you didn't bump there.
Or
Focus.
Sad times for that shuttle.
And the same. Okay, not bad. Yeah, the shuttle's going down. The question is how much damage can Vader and Suntir do?
I won't be surprised if he's planned to bump Vader into his own shuttle there.
To try and get maximum range 1, right?
To get range 1, and also he just...
he doesn't want to go anywhere else. He's in a good position.
He's quite happy where he is. Interested to see what he does with Suntir. Whether or not he's got... I mean, it's easy to think to do the 2 bank, but hard 1 guarantees that you're not gonna bump. Guarantees you your action still. He's boosted because he wants to give Jess a reroll. I mean, I wouldn't there, I guess, because well, you could have target locked your own shot, which is the exact same effect as Jess. And then also
and he
frees up the very obvious.
Suntir, I think, Suntir would have bumped if he hadn't done that.
100%.
Yeah, so not such a good choice. So Suntir can fire.
It's fully tokened up.
Yeah.
Evade free focus.
Onto the white T670, onto the red squadron expert. And I can see... Blank and focus. And hit and crit.
I won't be surprised.
And that's a blinded pilot.
I won't be surprised if you see the Vader ace now.
Now, Vader's going to take him off the board. Range 1, right?
Range 2.
Oh no, okay. 1 hit, 1 focus. Uses the force to make 3. 2 hits and a crit. It evades 1. That's a damaged engine, and that's weapons failure. And just that.
This is the boost there.
Yeah, that deciding to boost basically took that ship off the board. Okay. So it gets 3 and a blank, and a blank takes 3 damage then on the shuttle. 1, 2, and 3. Still on 2 hit points.
Just still to fire.
Yeah.
There's no way on earth you're going to shoot at Suntir in that situation.
I don't know. Next round, the only thing that the shuttle can really do is a 0, right? I don't know. I mean, it's still in the way, but
I mean, I'd do a 1 forward not to stretch yourself.
So firing on the shuttle gets 3 hits and a blank, and rolls focus. So they're gone.
Shuttle's done its job though.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Jessica Power and a Red Squadron Expert against Vader and Sun Tefel, that doesn't look good on paper.
I mean, I've heard they're pretty good pilots. I mean, in the fluff. Don't know.
Yeah, okay.
That Red Squadron Expert.
He is an expert.
Yeah.
An expert at boosting at the wrong time.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Okay. So that's probably where the game's basically ended for Cédric, I think. Like I say, I don't see much opportunity for him to be able to shut down Vader and Suntir. It's going to be a couple of turns of them both shooting at one ship, and until the game's over, really. We've still got half an hour left, but I think at most 10 minutes in this game. Unless Cédric starts doing some very fast maneuvers to try and escape, try and find a place to regroup. Like I say, the numbers just don't add up for him.
You need to get rid of Suntir next turn, and that's for no damage in return. Then you can turn on to Vader, but as you've said, looking at the clock, looking at two ships moving before him, I was surprised if he shoots at Vader again. I can see the Turquoise doing a 4K, Jess doing a one bank, doing a best block. So then knowing that, if I'm the Suntir player, I'm going 5 forward, boosting, saying see you later mate, thanks for coming. Vader's in a bit of a sticky spot.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a K-turn from Vader.
You see, these TIE Advanced players want at least a target lock.
Yeah, true, and he doesn't want to overcommit himself into staying in the same spot. He wants to be able to reposition. If it wasn't for the Turquoise T-70, I could even imagine Suntir taking out a K-turn this turn, slotting himself right behind Jessica Pava.
I mean, they do have a 5K. It'd be brave.
No, yeah, of course. But like I say, it's because of the T-70. Because of that T-70 being where it is, it's not worth it. It's not worth. And even because of that turquoise T-70, it's not worth either of them trying to K-turn this turn, because you don't know whether he's going to go straight or whether he's going to turn to the left.
Yeah.
Now Jessica's obviously, because she's stressed, it's more limited, and so you can kind of play more against Jessica, play off Jessica a bit easier in this case of knowing where she's going to be. So yeah, it would have been that would put them both in a very good position against Jessica, but the problem is that other T-70 is an unpredictable quality right now.
Yeah.
We're probably going to see Vader take a short maneuver, maybe a one bank, which he can then kind of barrel roll to try and reposition and make sure he's still got arc on Jessica. And who knows, maybe something similar from Suntir, one bank, just keeping it slow, just trying to control position and make sure he's keeping his options open.
Unfortunately, Suntir's slowest is a hard one.
Oh, that's true.
I've gone for the Talon. Maybe that shouldn't be a hard turn, is it?
It shouldn't do a Talon there.
Okay, you've gone.
Oh, he did.
Okay, I'm thinking he's thinking that Vader's going to 3-bank and probably pop after burners then.
3 bank to the left.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one bang I thought that would just
Yeah.
do.
Right, now.
Oh no, you called it. But no
Yeah.
finish in sight.
But yeah, you see, but that still gives him a really good position against the turquoise one. He's, you know, Jess isn't going to fire this round. Let's see where Suntir goes. If Suntir did that K turn, then that puts him in a perfect position. Like I say, the Talon roll I think was no, he's banked, he's bumped as well, which is perfect. Oh no, they're going to try and mark him to see if he gets past. But makes no difference. It works out perfectly for Pierre Anthony Popak. As even if he bumps and he doesn't make it through, he slooped. Oh, it didn't fit.
Really, Jeff's position.
Now
Just
that was a surprise. Anyway, yeah. So he's now in a position where he's not getting shot at by Cédric's chips. Right. So just 2 then. And 2 blanks. Heroics for 2 focuses. Doesn't have a focus because he talent rolled. Takes 2 damage on the shields.
it's a real sticky situation for the resistance player here. Turquoise is going to have to spend a turn de-stressing.
Yeah, and Suntifel's not involved in this next game, so he's got to remove that stress token as well.
Yeah.
So he's going the wrong direction, as is the T65. Jessica, well, she's free. She's stress free now. She could probably pull off another K turn or Talon roll, and pursue Vader. But I can see Vader just closing in on that T70 and taking a piece.
It's because Rebels and Resistance kind of almost fly themselves. You're looking at it going, it's going to have to be a 4K. I'm imagining where the 3 Talon ends you, and it's just nowhere helpful. I can see Vader hard turning to his left, sort of in pursuit of the turquoise. Sunset should be de-stressing and sort of running away from the fight.
Yeah.
It's a slow demise of the lower initiative ships.
Looks like Pack's still got 1 more dial to put down for Suntit. Okay. So decided, and now the Red Squadron Expert's going to move first, it looks like. So they're marking up Suntit. And 2 banks to the left. Now, from here, I don't see Vader getting a shot off as he boosts away. Every time he picks it up, it comes off.
Every time. I don't know, hard 2 with boosting a barrel roll.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, Jessica follows. So,
Sacrificing a turn and shooting just to...
yeah, I guess just kind of reforming up the squadron and trying to make sure that the next time there is an engagement, he's firing with both ships. All right. Vader takes a free turn to the right and also disengages, uses afterburners.
Target up onto Jess?
Yeah. I guess. Seems most logic at this time. You're not going to be able to use a focuser or an evade here, and barrel rolling isn't going to be much use to you, so... Well, looks like it doesn't do anything.
No, he's too cool for a target lock. Yeah. So basically, both players just kind of like taking this opportunity to disengage, try and form up for a more favourable engagement at the next opportunity. So we're probably going to be looking at a couple of rounds, maybe 2 or 3, of them just kind of flying around before they get back into each other's faces. I think he's forgotten to give Sensor a stress there. Probably figure it out in a second. See, the position the T-70s is in sort of screams out to both do a 4K.
Uh-huh.
But then when Vader afterburners that position, it's so easy for him to sort of squeeze into an area just on their flank now.
Yeah. Recovers the force. So Sunti should be stressed, right?
Yeah, he used afterburners. Thomas.
Can you ask Pierre, right? Should Sunti be stressed or not after using the afterburners? Okay, just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, should Sunti be stressed after using the afterburners?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. More than anything, I was worried about if he might have not placed his dial, but it seems like he had it in mind anyway.
Yeah.
If he'd have placed that, or if he'd done a white manoeuvre on his dial, then
It becomes second nature after a while when you play these ships so much.
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he'd done a 2-bank to clear it, or without even writing it down.
No.
Two turn to the right with Vader. And like I say, Cédric's just running. Maybe he's thinking he's trying to hold on to points.
I think he's looking for a more favourable engagement.
But I don't know. I mean, still got 15 minutes left in the rounds. There's a lot of running he has to do if that's what his idea is, to try and withhold points. But
I mean, I don't know how conscious he is on the actual scores. But again, you kill Sun Tzu, you are winning.
Mm-hmm. True. And Sunti's down to 1 hit point. But I mean,
it's losing 2 hull on to the turquoise.
and it's got half points as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we exchange let's have a quick look what happens here. If we take off 2 hit points on the Red Squadron Expert and we take Sunti off the table, the points change to 109 to 120. Pack's still in the lead. So there's I don't know.
That's if he is that conscious on the current scoreline. He may just want to dictate his own engagement.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so he'd have to like kind of find himself to come back round at that edge in that corner of the board, right, to the top left of the board.
Yep.
Come back round and be able to control the first engagement to range 3 and just kind of like, or just stay out of range 3 and then just kind of jump into range like 2/1 to be able to take advantage of it and be able to do damage on Suntir. And I don't see Pierre as being that that gullible to fall for something like that.
No. That turquoise T70 does not want to behave.
Well, it was doing fine until they decided they wanted to put 2 set T70s and switch them around.
Yeah.
And of course there are other bases. You can switch that around if you want.
Yeah. See, this decision perplexes me as well because all I can see Vader doing is a 5 forward.
You think Vader would have tried to force the engagement so quickly, like to go so fast?
100%, because when they're turning like that, you can, with still having an afterburners charge with barrel roll, you can easily dodge arc. Okay, let's go on this trip.
Yeah. I figured, like Pac, I figured he was going to head off towards the top left board corner and try and regroup from there. Like I say, it's I think it's more of a question of he's running for space right now. He's in his mind at least, and obviously this is just my perception of things, is that Cédric's trying to hold off time. Maybe, like, you know, if the opportunity presents itself, he'll take it. But apart from that, his objective right now is just try and hold out the game till the end and not lose more points. He's 4-1. No, he's 4-0. So 1 loss at this stage isn't too bad. He only has to win the next game.
See, in this format, obviously, only 5-on-1s make it to the cut. But if your MOV is nice and healthy, you get the opportunity to miss sort of the play-in cut and possibly get a buy into the into the cut.
Yeah. Oh, that's something that I haven't double checked participation numbers to work out exactly how many buys there would be. So it's like 188 players. What's this? After 6 rounds, you've got 3 undefeateds and 18 with 1 loss. So top 21, which would mean
you have to go for top
11 buys.
Rah. So yeah, so there'll be 5-on-1s up there. So there's
yeah, pretty much all of them. It's only going to be
8 5-on-1s
out of 16 tables. There's going to be 5 tables at play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, so yeah, once Jessica's doing talent rolls now.
I personally wouldn't have done.
It's like
I'd have hard turned and boosted to keep on Suntir's tail. I can see Suntir doing a hard one to the left this turn.
Yeah, this does put him in a slightly more what's the word for it? He's kind of slightly given away his position this time round, and it's a lot more likely we're going to see the Vader and Suntir free hard to the right, maybe even boost to try and close range and try and force that last round of engagement. Suntir wants to be very careful, doesn't want to take any damage that he doesn't have to. Yeah, hard one, so it's playing it far more cautious. Boost straight, maybe.
You gotta be careful for next turn. So
That's why I'm saying boost
Jess
straight.
I mean Jess is 100% going to be one banking next turn.
Okay.
So she'll obviously then be looking at her boost, puts her sort of her arc down. Okay, he wants a free shot at Jess.
Yeah.
He's got it.
Yeah, Vader takes a free turn. Uses the afterburners to boost. And target locks? Well, no, he's going for the attack.
You put it down now. Yeah, there you go.
No, target lock.
It should be force focus. Yeah.
Début de la phase de combat, je check mon bullseye, j'ai personne dans le bullseye. Je commence par cimetière, bon, j'ai rien. Et ici Vador, portée 3 sur Jess.
Does Cincy not have a shot then? Oh, just out.
So one focus, one hit, 2 hits and a focus. No, 2 focuses and a hit. Spends force. Gets 2 and a crit.
Oh.
And 2 evades and 1 evade and 2 focuses. 2 evades. Takes shield off on Jessica Power. Two blanks and a hit.
You reroll 1.
Makes 2 hits.
Dodge.
And Vader rolls evade, blank and focus. Yep, nothing to see here.
Oh, Turquoise has a shot.
So blank, hit, and there's a focus and an evade, and the focus gets spent, and then they do go back to dials. With 6 minutes left on the clock. So yeah, when there was half an hour left, and I said I think there's only another 10 minutes in it. That was a mistake.
What? This is either a master plan by Cédric to stall out the game to the point where he can kill Suntir and not lose half points.
Right.
Or he can just do his best to win. I mean, given benefit of the doubt, he's planned this all out.
Yeah, I guess if Jessica takes a 2 turn to the left, and maybe the Turquoise T70 squeezes in behind her with a 1 straight.
Yep.
And then Suntir, where's Suntir going to go?
You'd
have to free bank
be tempted with the Turquoise to bump into Jessica on purpose to not move.
Yeah.
And
True.
then for Jess to come out with a 1 bank, clear her stress, possibly consider barrel rolling back to try and sort of block Suntir.
Yeah.
Leaves the arc open for Vader.
She's got no charges left on that BB. Oh wait, we can't see. Oh yeah, she's got a charge left on that BB-8.
Can't use it when stressed though.
No, but I mean for
For the ability.
Yeah.
So I think Vader's pretty easy. I think he's doing a one bank in. I can't make my mind up as to what Cédric's going to do with the Sunter. I don't know whether or not he wants to bug out, whether or not he wants to bring in him for the kill.
You mean Pierre, Pack,
Yeah,
the
sorry.
Sunte. Yeah. I think he's going to play it cautiously. He's going to take a free bank to the right so that he can boost and barrel roll to get out of there if he needs to.
Ooh, he can only do a 2 because he's stressed.
All right, my bad.
You know, 2 would do it. Two.
Yeah, I would definitely give him the ability to get into a position where he can escape. Yeah, Jessica's taking the one bank to the left. Focuses.
He's daring Vader to do the one bank.
And one straight for the Red Squadron Expert. Vader looks like he's gone. Oh, okay. The way he moved all the tokens out of the way, look, he's going a bit faster. Yeah, but it's moved into a range 1 of Jessica. Maybe barrel rolls to the left, escapes that arc.
It puts him in danger to rock the turn afterwards, but I don't think he really cares about
No,
it that much.
Vader's not in a position where he's really worried about it to avoid taking damage for this turn. In exchange for a 50-50 chance of taking damage from a rock. I don't see it's been that big of an issue. Focuses instead.
All 3 force.
Oh yeah, there we go. And barrel rolls left and back. Focus target lock on the T7, the Red Squadron Expert. Sunte goes full throttle, 4 straight. Would probably barrel roll right as well to avoid Jessica.
Yeah, if he
And they want to
not
pilot
get
skill
shot.
kill that T7, that Red Squadron Expert.
If he doesn't want to get shot, yeah, barrel roll right and a boost gets him out of arc.
I think just barrel roll and then we'll focus to be able to put damage on Red Squadron.
I mean, he knows that the moment he gets half points on the turquoise. With his time left, he's almost won.
Yeah.
He's put his faith in the dice gods.
So there we go. So he's going to press it. He's going to try and take that ship off the board this turn. If not, just get half points. So it looks like he's going to fire with Sunte first onto Red Squadron Expert. You get 1 hit, 2 hits.
4.
Yeah, with the focus gets 4. Blank and evade takes 3 damage. And there's a crit. Nope. Okay.
This is where the crit's coming from.
Now Vader re-rolls, gets a blank, 2 hits,
So we should be hit crit.
evade and focus. Spends focus for evade. Yeah. And the Red Squadron Expert's going to fire back on Sunte.
Synths don't roll blanks, do they?
There. 1, 2, 3, and a focus. 1 blank, 2 blanks, and a focus. Bye-bye, Sunte. But it was worth it. Like I say, I think he played it well. It just didn't get enough damage through with Vader. Vader should have done more damage there. He only got 2 hits on him. He was and the Red Squadron was able to evade those. So it kind of went down before his time, but it's still not something enough to reclaim the game for Cédric. And that Red Squadron Expert now down to 2 hit points. And time on the round in 15 seconds.
So, in my head, I've got a really big play. I'm thinking actually using the charge from the BB Astromech,
Yeah.
barrel rolling in front of the turquoise, one banking up, focusing, doing a 4K behind Jess with turquoise, and seeing if you can just trap Vader with this last turn.
Oh, okay.
You got to go
He's
big.
got to get 3 hits on Vader to make the difference. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong side. Vader, yeah, he's got to get 3 hits on Vader. Let's go and take Vader down, and it ends up 147 to 120.
Is the K turning onto the rock?
Oh yeah.
It's a bold move. See if it works out for him.
He was trying to see if he did the talon roll, if it would fit. It takes the damage. And Wedge Squadron Expert. 3 turn to the right. Talon roll.
It's out of charges on Vader on the afterburners.
Yeah. Goes across the rock, takes a shield on Vader, making it a little bit easier for Cédric now.
He's got one force. He's got one shot.
This could have been Pac could have just given the game away, and a well pulled out. Yep, 2 hits and a focus. It looks like to me. Blank, evade, spends a force.
Oh.
Looks like he got away with it to me, and that's the end of the game. They're going to try for the attack anyway. Okay,
James.
Risky
business.
Thank you very much for joining me. That was
for
fun.
having me.
Right, let's go and have an interview with those 2, and then get ready for the last round. Okay, Cédric, well done.
Thanks.
4-0 is now 4-1, right? But you definitely played it out, and in that last match, we kind of figured like when Pac went over the rock and lost the shield, it's like, oh, he's only got to do 2 damage now. It was like, oh, this is possible, you know.
Yeah.
But it wasn't to be with the dice, and Pac was able to roll enough evades to make sure it wasn't a problem. But apart from that, it was well played. It did look like to me that you'd lost the game about with half an hour to go. There was a lot of cagey movement, separating onto the other side of the board. And like I say, in that last turn, you could have won the game. You could have, and you even rolled the dice there to see what would have happened if Jessica had been able to shoot, right?
It was for me, one of the only or the few errors I made was that last move with Jess.
Yeah.
As from that, I'm very happy with the game. I didn't play that much these days or these weeks, and very happy what I achieved. And against aces, that's one of the most difficult with this list.
Yeah.
So very.
And it ended up, like I say,
happy because it's near. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It came pretty close. If you'd have got those half points on Vader, you'd have won. And like I say, as you say, if you hadn't have rocked to Jessica, then yeah, if you'd have taken the talon roll, then yeah, it would have probably been a game for you. But like I say, that's the way it's gone this time around. You're still not out of the tournament. You still got one more game to play.
Yes.
If you win that, you make it through to the top cut tomorrow, and from there anything can happen, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll do my best.
Yeah. So best of luck, man, for your next game.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you for appearing on stream. Félicitations, Pac.
Merci.
It was a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very good. You got scared at the end?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, for this tournament, I have not played a lot in the last month.
Yeah.
Just 2 tournaments with my team in Lyon.
Yeah.
And for this SOS, I just want to play a list I love so much.
Of course,
so
yeah.
pace.
Yeah.
And just have fun.
Yeah.
I know I take a big risk at the end of the game.
Yeah.
I win.
Okay, no problem, right? And of course, you're from Lyon, so the national championship, the Grand Championship, comes to Lyon this year.
A good surprise from
Very good for you guys, right? Okay, well, that's it. You're through to the top cut tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
The next game doesn't make much difference, right?
Yeah, no.
There are supposed to be 11 buys tomorrow, okay, for the first round.
Yeah.
So it's pretty healthy. Things are looking good, okay?
Trying to pick a buy.
Yeah, of course, yeah. If you win one more game, buy guarantee.
Maybe.
Okay. Félicitations.
Merci beaucoup.
Bonne chance.
Merci.